You've probably seen calisthenics online, shredded athletes, insane gymnasts, even ninja-level cats. Not regular people. Definitely not people with dad bods or snack regrets. But here's the truth, your weight doesn't disqualify you. In fact, it can become your biggest advantage. Sounds crazy? Stay with me. Today, I'll show you how anyone, no matter their size or fitness level, can start calisthenics and build real strength. No more feeling left out. No more thinking, this isn't for my body type. Let's address the biggest myth. Myth number 1, I need to lose weight first. Nope. That's like saying you need to clean your room before you start cleaning it. Calisthenics is how you lose weight. Bodyweight training builds muscle. More muscle means a faster metabolism, and that means you burn calories even when you're doing nothing. You don't get fit and then start. You start, and then you get fit. And here's the best part, beginners see progress fast. So if you're starting now, you're actually in the perfect position. He didn't look surprised to see me. That was the first thing I noticed. While I stood there frozen, trying to catch my breath, he remained completely still, his presence calm yet overwhelming. His dark coat was soaked from the rain, his expression unreadable. But there was no mistaking who he was. Everyone in the city knew him. They didn't say his name often, but when they did, it was always in whispers. A man who operated in the shadows, who had built a reputation strong enough to terrify even the most dangerous people. Some called him ruthless. Others called him untouchable. I called him my worst nightmare. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The only sound was the rain hitting the pavement and my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I thought about running, but my body refused to move. It was like my instincts had given up. His eyes shifted slightly, looking past me. And that's when I heard it again. The footsteps. They were close now. Very close. Please, the word escaped my lips before I could stop it. I wasn't even sure what I was asking for. Help. Mercy. A chance. He looked at me then, really looked at me. Not like I was nothing, not like I was in his way. There was something else in his gaze. Something I couldn't understand. Then the men appeared. 3 of them, stepping out from the darkness, their expressions sharp and dangerous. One of them smirked when he saw me. There you are, he said, his voice cold. You really thought you could run? My body tensed. This was it. But then one of them noticed who I was standing with. The smirk disappeared instantly. Everything changed in a second. Oh, the man muttered, his confidence faltering. We didn't know you were here. The man in front of me didn't respond right away. He simply watched them, his silence more intimidating than any threat. Then, finally, he spoke. She's not yours to touch. The words hung in the air, heavy and unexpected. Even I didn't fully process what he had just said. For a moment, no one moved. Then one of the men let out a short laugh, though it sounded forced. With all due respect, he said carefully, this doesn't concern you. A mistake. I could feel it before anything happened. The man in front of me took a slow step forward. Not aggressive. Not rushed. Just enough to shift the balance completely. It does now, he replied, his voice low but firm. The tension snapped. What happened next was so fast, I could barely keep up. One of the men reached for something, maybe a weapon, but he didn't get the chance to use it. In an instant, the man I feared was already moving. Precise. Controlled. Unstoppable. The fight wasn't chaotic, it was calculated. Every move had purpose. Every strike ended something. I stood there, frozen, watching everything unfold like a nightmare, or maybe a miracle. Within moments, it was over. The men who had been chasing me were no longer a threat. The street fell silent again, the only sound left being the rain and my uneven breathing. I couldn't believe what I had just witnessed. He didn't even look tired. For a few seconds, I just stared at him, trying to understand what had happened. This wasn't how the story was supposed to go. People like him didn't save people like me. Slowly, he turned toward me. "You shouldn't be here," he said. His tone wasn't harsh, but it wasn't gentle either. It was something in between, something distant. "I didn't have a choice," I replied, my voice shaking. For a moment, it felt like he was about to walk away. And honestly, I thought he would. But then he paused. And that's when everything truly began. He didn't leave. That was the first thing that felt wrong. Or maybe unexpected. A man like him didn't wait around, didn't involve himself any more than necessary. And yet, he was still standing there, as if he was deciding something. "Can you walk?" he asked without looking directly at me. I nodded quickly, even though my legs still felt weak. "Yes." "Then move," he said. "This place won't stay quiet for long." I didn't argue. I couldn't. Something in his voice made it clear that hesitation wasn't an option. I followed him, my steps unsteady at first, trying to keep up as he moved through narrow streets and unfamiliar paths. He seemed to know exactly where he was going, never slowing, never looking back. After a few minutes, I finally spoke. "Why are you helping me?" No answer. The silence stretched between us, heavy and uncomfortable. I wondered if I had crossed a line by asking. Maybe I had. But then, just as I was about to give up, he spoke. "You saw something," he said. It wasn't a question. "Yes," I admitted quietly. "That makes you a target." "I already figured that out," I replied, a hint of bitterness in my voice. He stopped walking. And for the first time, I realized, this wasn't over. He turned slightly, just enough for me to see his face more clearly under the dim light. There was no fear in his eyes. No hesitation. Just certainty. "Those men weren't acting alone," he said. "And they won't stop." A chill ran through me. Then what am I supposed to do? For a moment, he studied me like I was a problem he was trying to solve. Then he sighed quietly, almost like he didn't like the answer he had come to. "You stay with me." I blinked in disbelief. "What?" "It's the only way you make it through this," he continued. "Out there, you're exposed. With me, they'll think twice." "That's supposed to make me feel better?" I asked, my voice rising slightly. "You're the most feared person in this city." "Exactly." I didn't know how to respond to that. Part of me wanted to run, to get as far away from him as possible. But another part, the part that had just seen him take down 3 armed men without breaking a sweat, knew he was right. I didn't have better options. And deep down, that terrified me more than anything. We reached an old building hidden between 2 abandoned structures. From the outside, it looked like it had been forgotten years ago. Broken windows, cracked walls, no signs of life. But when he pushed the door open, everything changed. Inside, it was clean. Organized. Controlled. A safe place. "Stay here," he said as he stepped inside, scanning the room quickly like he was making sure everything was exactly how he left it. I hesitated at the entrance. "You live here?" "For now." That answer didn't tell me anything, and somehow, it told me everything. I stepped inside slowly, still unsure if I should feel safe or trapped. Maybe both. "Sit," he said, pointing toward a chair. I did, my body finally starting to feel the exhaustion it had been ignoring. My hands were still shaking. He noticed. Without saying anything, he walked to a small cabinet, grabbed a glass of water, and handed it to me. "Drink." I took it, surprised. "Thank you," I whispered. He didn't respond. But for the first time, he didn't seem like a monster. The silence between us wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't just fear now, it was something more complicated. Questions, confusion, curiosity. "Who are you?" I finally asked. He leaned against the wall, arms crossed, his gaze distant. "You already know the answer to that." "No," I said softly. "I know what people say about you. That's not the same thing." For a moment, I thought he would ignore me again. But then he spoke. "People see what they want to see," he said. "It's easier that way." "That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting." I sighed, looking down at the glass in my hands. "You saved my life." He didn't react. "Why?" I pressed. This time, he didn't look away. Instead, he met my eyes directly, and for a brief second, I saw something unexpected. Not darkness. Not cruelty. But pain. "You were in the wrong place," he said quietly. "That's all." I knew he was lying. But I didn't push further. Not yet. Hours passed, though it didn't feel like time was moving normally. The storm outside had calmed, but the tension inside me hadn't. I couldn't stop thinking about what he said. "They won't stop." That meant this was bigger than I thought. "Those men," I began carefully. "Who are they?" He didn't answer immediately, which told me everything I needed to know. "They're not just criminals," he finally said. "They're part of something bigger. Organized. Careful. And now they're after me because I saw them." "Yes." A knot formed in my stomach. "Then I'm not safe anywhere, am I?" He shook his head once. "No." The honesty in his voice was terrifying. "But," he added after a pause, "they didn't expect me to get involved. And that changes things." A faint, almost unreadable expression crossed his face. "It always does." For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt something different. Not safety. But a fragile, dangerous kind of hope.